everybody. So on Monday and Tuesday, you guys did watch some lessons by a different teacher. His name is Mr. Habecker, and he really explains very well how to decompose a polygon. And remember, a polygon is a shape kind of like this, right? So it's not a perfect rectangle. It's not a perfect rectangle or a perfect square, right? So that's a polygon shape. And so he did a great job of explaining how to decompose it, and then he gave you 2 strategies on how to find the area of an object or of a shape that looks like this, right? So he gave you 2 different strategies on how to solve that. And I'm going to review that today. So we are going to continue that. We are going to review the 2 strategies, and then I have an independent assignment for you guys to do on Seesaw. So today is just a review of what you guys learned on Monday and on Tuesday. So our objective today is we will be able to find the area of a polygon, so this shape, by either decomposing into smaller rectangles. So either you're going to decompose it. Remember, decomposing means that you're going to chop it up. You're going to break it apart, right? So I like to say chop it up. Or making it into a larger rectangle and then subtracting. So, or you make it into a larger rectangle like this, and then you just subtract that area from your total, okay? So that is what we're gonna focus on today. All right, so Mr. Habecker, he talked about 2 different ways that you can solve to find an area of a polygon, right? So if it's not a perfect rectangle, it's not a perfect square, there are 2 different ways that you can solve and can still find the area. The first way was to chop it up. So to chop it up into 2 pieces, into 2 separate rectangles. So I have grid paper here that I'm using on these ones. And if you, Miss Kellogg and I gave you guys a good stack of grid paper. So if you like to solve these things on grid paper, you can, okay? So you can put it in your whiteboard sleeve at home, or you can just draw directly on the grid paper and to help you solve these problems. So I'm going to show them on grid paper, and then I'm going to flip it over and I'll show you what it looks like when we don't have grid paper, okay? So today we're just reviewing the strategies that we learned earlier this week. So for this one, I need to chop these up into 2 separate pieces. So I think I might chop it up right here. I'm going to chop it up right here. So now I have this rectangle right here that I'll find the area for first. And then I have this rectangle over here that I will find the area for second. And then I'm going to add those 2 together. So if you're chopping it up, that means you have to add those 2 pieces together. And just to review, remember what our formula is for area. Area is length times width. And that gives you the area, that measurement inside the rectangle. It's really important to remember that. Okay, so let's look at this first rectangle. That one's pretty easy, right? So we see that our length here on the top is 3, so I know it's going to be 3 times, and I see that my width here is 5. Easy peasy, right? So I know that that is 15. So I'm going to put 15 down here. And I'm going to add this piece. I'm going to put my plus sign already there, okay? So now I need to figure out this one. Well, I see that my width is 3, so that's pretty easy. So I'm going to put 3 here. But I need to figure out this piece right here. This is my length here on the top piece. Well, it's easy on grid paper, right? Because all you have to do is count up the squares. So we know that it's 3. But if we didn't have grid paper, I would want to look at the total of this length and see if they give me a number on top. Well, they do. They give me the total length is 6. They give me that part of this is 3, so this top piece is 3 inches or feet. Right now we're just going to call it units. 3 units long. So I'm going to subtract that. So I know that 6 take away 3. Oh, that's going to make this side right here 3. Let me erase that so it's black. okay, because I had my total length. I knew part of the length was 3, so I just simply subtracted it from the total length. And that gave me that missing length piece here. So now I know that my length right here is 3. I'm going to put this in a different color. 3 times 3. Okay, so now I can solve, right? I know all my missing sides. So we have 15 times 3 times 3 is 9, right? So now I can find my total. 15 plus 9. What's 15 plus 9? 24. So I know my total area for this whole thing is 24 square units. And I'm going to abbreviate there because I'm running out of room. So 24 square units. Okay, so now that was the chop up method, right? We chopped it up into smaller rectangles. If that still seems confusing to you, watch that part again, okay? Here is the next method, and this might be easier for some of you guys to figure it out. Okay, so this one is make a triangle. So we're actually gonna make a triangle out of this shape, and then we're gonna subtract the piece that we added, okay? So here I'm gonna make this a full triangle. So I'm gonna put a line here and a line here. So now I have a full triangle, right? So I just added that piece. Now I know that length, I can find the area now, right? So I know that the length here is 6. So I'm gonna put it right down here. 6 times, and the width is 4. Good, so I know it's 6 times 4. But now I need to subtract this part right here that I added, okay? And I know that right here, well, if this is 2, and the total length on this side was 4, I know that this is 2 here, right? So subtracted, so I'm going to subtract 2 times, okay, I need to find this piece right here. Well, I know that oops, that was 4. I know my total was 6 here, up here. I have part of it is 4 here, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so then this piece right here must be 2. So 2 times 2. Now I can solve. So 6 times 4, what's that? Oh, that's 24. Take away 2 times 2, oh, that's 4. And that gives me a total area of 20, and I'm gonna have to write it down here, square units. Okay, so now I found the area of this whole rectangle by just subtracting that little piece that I had added on earlier. So that is make a rectangle and then subtract. All right, so what if we didn't have grid paper, right? What if we didn't? Let me just erase this part right here. And we had something like this. Okay, I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit. Got a little scratched off. Okay, so what if we had a rectangle like this? Well, same thing, okay? We just don't have the grid paper to help us count up the squares. So let's chop it up. All right, so I'm gonna chop this piece up right here. So I'm gonna find the area of this piece, and then I'll find the area of this piece, okay? So let's find the area of this piece first. Well, that's not too bad, right? They give us the length here is 5 times, what's the width? 8. Okay, so then I'm gonna add this piece right here. Well, I know the width is 4, right? They give us that, so I'm gonna go ahead and write 4 here. I need to figure out this piece here. This is my question mark. How do you do that? It's not too bad. All you have to remember, okay, I know the length, the total length down here is 10. I know part of the length is 5 up here. Okay, so I just need to figure out this piece right here. So 10 take away 5. And that's going to give you this length right here. 10 take away 5 is 5. Ta-da! So now we can put 5 here, and that's going to give us, I should have done it in blue for you guys, but that's okay. So now we can solve. 5 times 8, what is that? 5 times 8 is 40, plus 5 times 4 is 20. And what does that equal? That equals 60 square units. Because it doesn't say if it's inches, feet, so if it doesn't have a measurement, and then you're just going to put units. Okay, so that was that part. I prefer doing the chop up method. It makes more sense to me. But if you don't like that and you like to make it a big rectangle and then subtract, that works too. So let's see how it works out here. So I'm going to make this piece, I'm going to go ahead and make a big rectangle. There we go. So that means I'm going to have to subtract this part out once I get to it, okay? So we have 8. So we know our width is 8, or our length is 10, and our width is 8, okay? So 10, you guys can see that? Yeah, 10 times 8, okay? So now I need to subtract this part right here. So I'm going to put it in blue. Okay, so how much is this part right here? That's what we need to figure out. Well, we know that the total width over here is 8, right? We know part of the width over here, because these two sides are the exact same size, exact same length. So we know it's 8 over here. We know part of it is 4, so we just need to subtract. 8 take away 4. 8 take away 4 is 4. So I know my missing width here is 4. Now I need to figure out this one right here. I know my total length is 10. I know part of that length is 5. Again, I just subtract. 10 take away 5 is 5. So now I know the length and the width of this rectangle right here. Well, the length is 5. The width is 4, so now I can solve. 10 times 8 equals 80. Take away 5 times 4 equals 20. And so our total is 60 square units. So is that the same? It's the same measurements that we did up here. All right, so those are the 2 ways to do it. Again, if you want to use your grid paper to help you out on your assignment today, you prefer it, go for it. That is great. You're using the tools that you have to help support you in your learning, okay? Okay, so now you guys are going to do your seesaw assignment. And then if you have any questions, make sure you come to the help group.